We just came off of a cruise that had an outbreak, and I don't think I've ever seen an outcome quite like this. Hey everybody, what's up? My name is Jordan and this is JJ Cruise. Thank you so much for coming into the video today. Well, a couple of weeks ago, we got off of a ship that had a foodborne illness outbreak, and we never really got a chance to talk about it here on the channel. We were traveling with friends for a couple of weeks. We just got home a few days ago, and I think it's time to talk about exactly what happened on board that ship and the reaction from the thousands of people that were on board that ship with us, because the reaction was quite extreme. Granted, many people's vacations did get ruined. So we're going to get into all of the information and the details of what happened. But before we do that, I do just want to invite you to subscribe to the channel. We are on this journey to 75,000 subscribers. You could come along with us and be a part of the first 75,000 JJ crew. And if you've been here a while, let me know in the comments, what subscriber number were we at when you decided to finally hit that subscribe button? Well, on May 20th, we boarded the Allure of the Seas for a short 4-night journey. We were actually a part of a group that we were the travel agents for. This was a birthday cruise. So we were sailing with about 24 of our clients at the time. The cruise went out of Port Canaveral and just went down to Nassau and then perfect day at CocoCay and back. And this itinerary is actually a newer one for Royal Caribbean in terms of the Oasis class, doing these short runs between Florida and the Bahamas. We think that this might be kind of a test drive for Utopia of the Seas, Royal Caribbean's newest ship that will be coming out in July, because Utopia will start doing the same biggest weekend ever 3 and 4 night cruise out of Port Canaveral like Allure is doing now. We were just a couple of nights into the cruise when we were at second seating or late dinner with the group of people that we were traveling with, and we got an alert or a text from someone else in the group saying that out on the boardwalk, there was multiple people throwing up kind of all over the place through the boardwalk and people running out of the aqua theater, getting sick and trying to get to a bathroom. When this happens, it is never a good sign, because obviously one of the biggest fears for cruise ships is norovirus. Norovirus is a very fast spreading flu-like illness that can break out really quickly. And you hear about this happening on cruise ships from time to time. It truly does happen when people are not washing their hands enough, getting in people's faces too much, and exchanging particles that could, well, get you sick really quickly. It was only a matter of time and via Facebook that people on the ship found out very quickly it was the bow pulled pork tacos that were making people sick. Now, if you are familiar with Royal Caribbean or have cruised Royal Caribbean, these bow pulled pork tacos are a staple on the menu and has been for years. People seemed to think that at the 5:30 or early dinner setting, those tacos were making people sick. And people were kind of figuring this out by who ate what at their table. A family of 5, maybe one of their kids had the tacos and no one else did, and that kid was getting sick. Another friend group over here, half of the friend group ate the tacos, half didn't, and those 2 people that ate the tacos were getting sick. So it was kind of this very slow but fast rolling ball of people figuring out that the tacos might be causing food poisoning amongst the guests on board. Jared and I found this out about 20 minutes too late, because for our appetizer that night, he and I both ate those pulled pork bow tacos. I love those tacos. I might not be eating them in the future, but both of us had eaten those and consumed those at dinner. As the hours went past that night, more and more people were getting sick, and it was pretty much deducted by all of the passengers on board that it definitely was those tacos. Now, for Jared and I, this was very anxiety-inducing because we were on board, we were working, we were with clients, and he and I kind of felt like this was just a ticking time bomb for both of us. We were both feeling okay, but it was the anxiety of not knowing what was coming. Of course, when you get food poisoning, you can get sick anywhere after 30 minutes from consumption, all the way up to kind of the next day. But we did not let it ruin our night. We went up about the evening, went to bed that night, went to sleep, and thankfully neither of us got sick. The next day on board, though, Ooh, the passengers were fuming. There was a lot of discussion in the Facebook group about what people were going to do for Royal Caribbean. There was a lot of speculation that Royal Caribbean was charging thousands of dollars to anyone that got sick to hook them up to IVs or give them any type of medication. There was even a secondary Facebook group that had started specifically for people that did get sick off of the tacos in the group. By midday, this was day 3, things kind of started to calm down a little bit. I think a lot of people were feeling better. But then there was an uprising again on day 4 when we went to go to CocoCay, and they wouldn't let us off the ship. They ended up holding us on the ship for about 4.5 hours and did not let us get off into the island until 1 p.m. And this was because the Bahamian government was trying to make sure that it wasn't norovirus and that there wasn't some widespread illness going around that the passengers were going to bring into CocoCay and get the 600 people that live there on the island ill. Now, in my mind, I'm the travel agent for this trip, so I just keep kind of thinking and going through my head, what is Royal Caribbean going to do to try and make this right? How are they going to make up with this? I know that often cruise lines will give future cruise credits to try and get people to come back, but that really doesn't make people satisfied or happy in situations like these, specifically because there's often people that say they don't ever want to cruise again after having this experience, and I can't blame them. On Jared's very first cruise, he and I both got food poisoning on that trip, and he walked off the ship saying he would never cruise again. So I completely understand to people that get sick on ships and never want to go back on a cruise ship. It makes total sense to me. We've been there, we've done that, we've had that experience. We got off that day at CocoCay, we had a really nice day in the Hideaway, and we got back on board to information about compensation packages that they were giving to everyone on board, regardless if you got sick or not. Royal Caribbean ended up giving people 50% back from any excursion or anything they bought at Perfect Day at CocoCay. So, for example, if you went to the Hideaway and paid $60 to go there, you get $30 back in the form of a refundable onboard credit. In addition, they were giving everyone a 12% or half day worth of your cruise fare back as well in the form of a refundable onboard credit. Now, refundable onboard credits are credits that can be refunded to your credit card that you have on file with Royal Caribbean if they are not spent on board. So for a lot of people on board, they did end up walking away with money back, especially if they didn't spend any money on board due to the inconvenience of us being held up at CocoCay and just the overall poor guest experience on board the ship. Since then, we've been asked if we think that that is a fair compensation package, and it's very, very difficult to answer that question because this experience is very subjective. Of course, if you got sick, it's a 4-day cruise. It's so short. And if you were kind of out of commission for 75% of that time or any time past day 2, that really stinks. And that could really have ruined your vacation. On the flip side, I rarely see cruise lines give refunds. This doesn't happen often. Normally, the refund that you get is in the form of some type of future cruise credit, which means you have to come back to the company and travel again in order to get any type of use off of that compensation. I do think it was good of Royal Caribbean and it was in Royal Caribbean's best interest to give these refunds or give people some of their money back because here in 2024, it's just not something that you see quite often, especially when it comes to vacation packages. If you were on that sailing with me and you did get sick, I am very, very sorry about that. I know some people have really tried to monetize off of the situation, even selling t-shirts saying that you survived that Taco Tuesday, that horrible Taco Tuesday on board Allure of the Seas. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think what Royal Caribbean did was fair? Do you think that they were way out of line? I know that everyone expects bigger and always more, and I've even heard some people say that they should have been given a full 100% refund. Let me know what you think in the comments of the situation below, and if you think Royal Caribbean did right by the passengers, or if Royal Caribbean did them dirty. Well, thank you so much for watching again. My name is Jordan. This is JJ Cruise. And until next time, see ya.